Yeah.
Hey.
The showers. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure to have you. Pleasure.
It's a comfy couch. I mean, you really kind of might like.
I feel like I'm just gonna take a nap here.
Enough tequila might put you down.
Right? Shout out to the little day nap right here.
Yeah. Episode 52.
Episode 52.
How are you feeling?
It's here, man. I'm ready, man. I've done this for 52 episodes, bro. 52 months straight. I'm ready.
I'm so excited that I'm here. I've been asking Ricky about Tequila Transactions and wanting to get on the show. And it's funny, am I the first person that doesn't really drink on the show? Or there have been other...
Yeah, actually, you are the first one, but this is actually like the first time it's not like in an office setting or like...
Oh, nice.
We're actually in a home that you actually help create. Like this is different. So honestly, just appreciate you for giving me the idea and for like allowing us to be here, because
of course,
not only is it a beautiful home, but like just being here, it just feels super welcoming. Feels like it's just a vibe going on. I know there's been a lot of vibes at this house already, so I think before someone else takes over and becomes the new owner, we're gonna christen it with a little tequila tasting. But first and foremost, just appreciate everyone for jumping on, for supporting us. 52 episodes in, we've been doing this for 52 months straight.
That's consistency.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of consistency on hard work.
4 years, going on 5 years now. Damn. Yeah, it started in COVID, man. It became something just to do, to bring people together, and tequila is like that. Tequila brings people together, and honestly, like for me, it's full circle, because like I was sitting around wondering what I was gonna do during COVID, and then everyone's like, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." So we're kind of just waiting around for things to happen, and it's cool just to be able to now, 4 years later, still do this with folks like yourselves, people who are doing a lot of big things in our industry, making a lot of noise, and yeah, man, just to be here is just a blessing, man. It's really cool to be able to just have the show in a house that you helped kind of bring to life, and definitely want you to take some time to talk about it. But first and foremost, want to introduce my boy RJ here, episode 52, as we've been touching on. And ultimately, just like I said, man, just a blessing to be here. Just hopefully share some tequila with you. And
of course, I don't think any woman would get me to drink right now. Ricky, on the other hand, though, for sure, if he's offering, I may have to take a couple sips and see what the hype's about.
Well, yeah, man. And then I know you're not a big drinker, but I think we're gonna have to break it a little bit today, because just so you can get a little bit of the experience. And then, I think
this is like off the record, even though this might be publicized. This is off the record. No one knows about this. What was the first? Do you remember the first like tequila shot that you had?
I was telling Ashley the first time actually like that I ever got. Not like drunk or anything like that, but just the first time you like.
Well,
yeah, the first time I had my first tequila shot, I got paid, and it was off Patron too. And this was like, boy. Man, I was
you just listen to T.I.?
Pretty much. On 20 cent on 24. Like, well, how old was I? 13 or 14? So yeah, man, about 20 years ago.
Was that at a party?
No, actually, just a lot of memories, dude. Like, just thinking about it. Like, I grew up with a lot of older cousins. And so, like, I always wanted to be part of the crew and be just as old as them. And I'm like 10 years younger than a lot of them. And so, like, I recently just lost my godfather, but he was pretty much the reason why I was able to tag along a lot of the times, because he was always kind of bringing the youngsters around. And although he was 10 years older than me, like, he always looked at me like a peer or someone that was his age, or like respected me like someone that was his age. So he always kind of like was willing to hang out with the younger cousins and like break bread with them too. So it was just kind of like a full circle moment, because like I've been going over my aunt's house a lot and just being there for the family, and it kind of just like been telling my girl Ashley, like, if these walls could talk, man, they wouldn't shut up, because like a lot of things went down in that house, man, and just like I literally lost a lot of my innocence in that house, because like I said, like all my cousins were so much older than I was, and like just hanging out with them and trying trying to just be an older person and like trying to just kind of like talk the way they did and just like listen to the music they did and obviously drink what they were drinking. So like, yeah, I mean, they were like, yeah, I mean, if you want it, drink it, right? And so like for me, you know, seeing these guys just hanging around and drinking, I was like, sure, why not, right? So yeah, I mean, I definitely have been exposed to it from an early age, but it's something like never that I particularly abused, but it was more something like to bring people together. And so that's why, like for me, like tequila has a lot of memories, a lot of feelings of just bringing people together, talking out. Like for me, it's like very reminiscent of like my dad and my uncles hanging around, just like, you know, taking a shot or just having a drink. So for us, I mean, it's something that's always been around. Tequila just always kind of brought us together. And my dad's a big collector himself. So kind of like something that I kind of took after him. And yeah, dude, I mean, for us, like we really proud to be Mexican. We love going back to Mexico, and this is kind of part of our culture. And we're from the part in Jalisco where tequila's made. So like for us, it's very much out in the open. Like when you're walking around, you're seeing all these cactuses growing and tequilas at every store and stuff like that. So like it's very much embedded in our culture, and it's something that we kind of have been around all of our lives. But for me, it's something that it just it's like a peace offering. You know, you invite people to drink with you and hang out and tell stories, and you know, never try to take it over, you know, the edge and try to get too crazy, but more so just be responsible and drink responsibly and you know, make a friend or two and just kind of talk about your lives and kind of share stories. And I think it's kind of a cool thing to now kind of take what my family and my uncles and aunts and everyone was doing and now to apply it to kind of like to real estate, where I'm getting to get people together to kind of break bread with them too, and just like shed some light on their lives and talk a little bit about them and get to know them on a personal level, but also really kind of just see what makes them tick. Like what interests do they have? And like, you know, a lot of people don't really see the person behind the scenes, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like you see a lot of realtors and a lot of lenders and people in the industry, and you kind of just really see the superficial level of them, like what they post online. But for me, it's like a lot of the people that I've befriended in this industry and people that I hang out with are a lot of the people I have on my show. So people that I respect highly, and it's not just because you were asking me for months, like when your show's coming up, but definitely you're on the list, bro. You were on the list, man. I got a little list. I always kind of jot people's names down because I always want to make sure that people are invited and that I make sure that I invite the people that I want to have on, right? But no, man. I mean, ultimately, just grateful that you were down to do it, and here we are, and that you had this beautiful house for us to come hang out into, so it all works out.
So Alvarez Agave and Tequila Company is on the rise coming up also, or what?
Was it in the works,
was I not supposed to spill that?
Hey, cut that.
Reject that. Yeah,
no.
Portion.
I mean, definitely a wish of mine. Like, yeah, I think eventually, like, yeah, just get more involved in the tequila industry. I mean, I don't see why not. I don't see why we couldn't create something of our own. I mean, a lot of people do. You know, I mean, you got people like E40 making Ecuarenta tequila and stuff like that. So you got a lot of celebrities.
Shout out local town folks. You feel me? Is Ernesto going to be a part of this company also?
Ernesto is going to be like my right hand man.
He's going to be like chief R&D.
Yeah. Ernesto definitely is another person I highly respect in the industry. Me and him did a episode a couple years ago, and we he brought out some old school stuff, man, like some really old school tequila, some shit from like the 90s, and really just kind of talking everything tequila. And he's just a wealth of knowledge, dude. So not only do I respect him as a realtor, but as a person, and like in the tequila industry, he's fucking well connected. And it's crazy because we went out to hang out a couple weeks ago, and literally a lot of the people that I know were invited by him without me inviting them. So like, just goes to show you how connected he really is in the tequila industry. A lot of people know him and respect him a lot. And, you know, like I said, he's a person that I hold really high up on my list of people who I can hit up to get some tequila info, because there's a lot of people out there who are drinkers, and there's a lot of people who are like actual like tequila connoisseurs, like people who actually like do this for a living and really look into the the ins and outs of it, like who makes it, where does it come from, like the story and everything. So he's very involved in that, and I think definitely a person that I can definitely hit up, and he's going to cut it to me straight and be honest with me. And he's definitely saved me a couple times. Shout out to you, Ernesto, because there's been times where I'm like, bro, I don't know what the hell to get to my client, and he's like a huge tequila person, and like I don't want to get him nothing basic. So
I remember I made a call to you.
Oh yeah,
our first party for Plymouth, and we were at Costco. I was like, Ricky, what kind of tequila should I get for everyone?
Yeah,
I think we got Hornitos or something like that.
There was something. No, there was. I think you guys got a couple good ones too. I think. I can't remember.
Shout out Costco business.
Yeah, I know, for real.
They got a couple of silent sleepers in there. You just gotta know what you're picking.
All right, man. Well, usually, like our way I like to kick the show off, I definitely want people to know who you are and what you do, and definitely why we're here.
The magic behind the curtain.
Exactly. So definitely want to give you the mic and let you talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we can dive into a little tequila. And I think we ended off with your journey into real estate, and then talk a little bit about this beautiful house, man. Because
well, you don't have that bio that 12 paragraph bio is
no, I'm saving that for your YouTube caption.
Oh man,
I'm like, this is what RJ thinks of himself.
Yeah, exactly. RJ and Chat GPT.
Dude.
Where should we kick it off? Where should we start?
I mean, I would say introduce yourself.
Yeah. Let
people know, whatever you want people to know, bro. Like plug yourself. This show's about you, bro.
I'm buying houses that are 1,000 square feet minimum in Oakland, Berkeley, Lafayette, kind of like whole La Miranda area. So the last year and a half, I've been focused primarily on flipping houses, as you've seen.
Right.
A lot of my content is focused around that, and one of the reasons why I think I leaned more into it is when I was first becoming a realtor, someone was talking to me about like, what's your influence, for instance, on like social media? Like most of the people at that time going into real estate that I was connecting with and building relationships with were more realtors. So was I going to be posting more content around like what are rate buy downs, what are no offense to any lenders out there, what are rate buy downs, what are different concessions, what are ways to help your buyers? Because how helpful is that information to a realtor when you're most likely like promoting the same content, same material?
Exactly.
So that's what really gave me more comfort in leaning into more of like the construction world, because I think a lot of realtors are very interested in that. I think every realtor is like hidden passion, right? They want to do construct most of the time, and I might be like bullshitting this.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think at the end
look at Ernesto, by the way, motherfucker. Down here, I call him the guy OGC. He be putting it down everywhere. Everyone will ask me for like a contact, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, Ernesto sent me like someone with a better price." Like, Ernesto. We're going to talk about pricing, Ernesto. So yeah, construction's been super fun, and it definitely goes hand in hand with real estate.
It does.
So COVID hit. And was still doing some construction at the time. My first license that I got was my real estate license. I got that I started classes end of 2020, got my license in 2021. So got my real estate license, followed that up with my contractor's license shortly after, like 4 or 5 months later. So that was fun. Like I said, they go very much hand in hand with each other because it's all houses.
Right.
And it definitely gives me a little bit of an edge, because when I walk properties with clients, I have to make sure of which hat I'm wearing and which fiduciary responsibility I have at the time, right?
Correct. Exactly.
However, I do have that valuable insight in regards to like what are considerations that you have to make if you want to move this bathroom. Like, okay, what are going to be limitations in regards to like slab versus crawl space for plumbing, or what are your limitations in regards to any sort of structural changes that might need to happen? So that's always been super fun.
No, and I think that's awesome that you have that level of expertise too, because a lot of clients really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You can kind of cut it to them straight, like, oh, guys, you don't have to worry about this.
Because there's liability issues there too.
Correct. So you got to make
very clear on disclosing and making sure that like even though when I'm representing on the real estate side, I can't I can't.
You can't put your contractor's hat on.
Yeah,
and
well,
say
it's
certain
just
things,
like,
right?
well, it's like, let's say a single family house foundation issue, right? For me as an investor, for me as a contractor, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah,
It's a single family house versus like something that we're on here. This is a hillside property, a lot of different implications in terms of what to take into consideration. You know, hillside property, I'm not as worried about a crack in the foundation, efflorescence. Like those are all relatively easier. There are things I know that we can defer, kick down the line. It's a piece of rock. The framing sitting on top of a big piece of rock, right? It's gone through. Our houses are usually dating back into like the 1900s, and they've been there for plenty of earthquakes.
Yeah, and nothing's happened, so it's not like, yeah, I mean, it's structurally sound. You're not too worried about it, but again, like you're saying, you really can't say all these things to a client.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
So and they got to do their
difficulty over there.
No, are you gonna drink or what's going on here now?
Oh, we can
Studio audience has had questions now.
we can start drinking.
I was letting RJ introduce himself and talk about who.
Damn,
he is.
Ashley.
There's
This better make it in the cut. This better make it in the cut.
there's
Interruption from the peanut gallery.
there's a method. There's a method to my madness here, right? There's a method to the
He's trying to
madness.
loosen me up before he starts getting me loose.
Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, so I mean, like those are very real things to take into consideration when walking a client through a property. So, yep. Yeah.
All right. Well,
One thing I will say. So I'm coming off of a year and a half of flipping houses. My responsibilities for these next two projects that we have going on have changed a lot. Like I'm not as active as an on the ground project manager. So that's my time is changing. Like my availability is changing. So I'm having to retool my whole business right now. One thing that I am going to be dropping, as I figured out, is some type of like a subscriber membership program, because I do get contracted by realtors to come out and do evaluations of properties with their clients, and I'll charge their client as a base fee, and then I'll charge another additional fee on top for like written proposals. So now I'm going to do kind of like the same model and and have like a little bit of a discounted rate for realtors if they pay $800 to $1,000, and they have me on retainer for 3 evaluations with clients within whatever radius I kind of like set up and choose. That way I can create like a new almost like subscription model, much like all these other companies are creating, right? Look at all these, how they monetize dating apps, right? Like what are the different ways that we're having to look to pivot our businesses and monetize them and provide value for people still. So that's changing, working on developing more for the retail construction side, which is fun. So that objective there, I'm definitely reaching out to a lot of realtors, talking to them, seeing whether they have clients that have projects that they're thinking about, considering. Can I get in front of them? Can I talk to them? And ultimately give them bids and do projects for them.
dope.
So,
Well, now you know.
and the biggest thing about me coming from the real estate side is better communication than realtors. Better communication than contractors, because
Okay, good.
realtors have really good communication skills, right?
Right.
Like our objective is to be as
Yes.
available. Contractors do not.
I know.
So
For a fact
that's
that.
one thing that I'm able to bring. Like my marketing pieces, like are you looking for? Quality construction and also responsive communication, because those are things that people I think are heavily valued in when it comes to figuring out which contractor they want to work with, and definitely the communication part is like essential.
100%. I mean, I can't tell you how many times like I don't hear from fucking contractors and they hit me up like a month later. Literally, oh yeah, you still need it. Like, dude, I needed you a month ago, bro. Like, I don't need you anymore. So I get that. And RJ saved my ass many times already, like where I call him, I'm like, bro, I need somebody. You got somebody? Like, yeah, call my dude and he'll come over and take care of it. So,
and if I don't get to you, Ernesto will. I won't be trolling Ernesto all the way throughout the show. But please. This is what I have to do.
well, I mean, good thing you plugged yourself, because I mean, now whoever watches this now, holler at RJ.
Episode 52, you better know it's going in the record book, boy. You heard me now.
All right, bro. So now we're gonna pivot a little bit. We're gonna get to the
Pour
highlight.
me up, brother. I ain't
Get to
drinking in 8 years.
highlight of the show right
Maybe
here,
a
bro.
taste, maybe a taste, not a pour.
No. We're gonna do taste test, bro. We're gonna taste test it because I want you to tell me.
What's the objective during our taste?
So the objective is for you to tell me what you like and don't like, and then I'm gonna tell you one of them.
Now.
One of them's
Before it
from
starts
here.
getting too hot.
So one of them was produced and then bottled here.
Oh, cool.
And then the other
In
one
the
was
Bay Area or
the other one was
California,
the other one
or
was
you say-
produced and bottled in Mexico.
in Lafayette.
Nah, Berkeley.
I was
Not
about to,
kidding.
I was about to say, I don't know
The
many.
Berkeley Hills.
I didn't know if the
Nah, so already off the,
Mexican
bat,
community in Lafayette.
the Mexican community in Lafayette grew and harvested their own agave and created
Off of Tahoe's Boulevard.
All right,
In the
so
mountain region.
in the mountain region of Lafayette. So same exact bottle.
No, it's not, brother. It's
Same
not.
exact.
One's a twist top and one's not a twist top. I already know that there's a difference between the two.
All right, okay, but you don't know which one's which.
I'm guessing the one without
You don't
the twist.
know.
I'm guessing the cork one's a nicer one.
All right. So we'll see. So we're gonna pour a little bit of both.
Okay.
We're gonna try one of each. I'm not gonna pour you too much because I'm not trying to overdo it. You know what I mean? I want to ease you. I want to ease you into it.
I'm glad you're taking care of me.
All right. So the objective is just taste it.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think.
And then we're looking for likes
Likes and dislikes.
Got it. Likes and dislikes. And then
Likes
how
and
do you
dislikes.
evaluate tequila? Tequila.
So tequila, you're gonna pretty much what you want to do is you want to get a good smell of it. You want to kind of just get your senses ready for it.
God, this reminds me of high school, and there might be a girl or two involved. And
We're gonna get real honest on this show right
flashbacks.
now. So
Oh God, flashbacks are coming back.
So now that you're starting to prepare your senses, obviously, you know, let your whole body know that you're gonna get some tequila in you, right? So essentially,
I like how you hold at the bottom of the stem.
you have to
It's player shit.
right here. You got to hold it right at the bottom, right here,
notes.
right here, and then you get a little swivel.
Just like we had the winery.
See the legs coming down. See all the little drippy drops.
The legs?
Yes, sir.
Legs are coming down? Okay.
See how the
Okay,
legs-
little tequila, little legs are coming down. Okay, Ricky. My legs are already down. As a disclaimer, I might be out of pocket at times, sober or not. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we do it. So
Hey, that's why you're.
apologies in
that-
advance if we
that's-
offend anybody.
That's why you're on the.
episode 52.
That's why you're on the show, bro. We need all the views we can get. But no, in all seriousness,
So legs coming down is an attribute to like viscosity,
Correct.
to like
Correct.
sugar content, or what's kind of like your evaluation.
you want them to come down nice and slow. If they come down super fast, it means it's high sugar.
Really?
These are añejos, so they're gonna have less sugar
So
now
what's-
because they're now crystallized. So what happens is it's an añejo tequila that's been aged, but then what they're doing is they carbon filter it at the very end to remove the color and imperfections. So a lot of people don't like this kind of tequila. That's just their prerogative. That's what they.
Is it because they've been kind of like bastardized by really low grade tequila in the U.S. market, or what's
No.
like-
So the reason why, bro, is because people will say, like, you took all that time to grow an agave for 6 to 8 years, then to create the tequila, then to put it in a barrel and age it for 2 more years, and then all you're really doing is now you're just filtering it out for all that, the whole process that you did. People are just saying you're just fucking it up. To each their own. I say it's an enjoyable, smooth tequila. Other people will say you just fucked up on añejo tequila. But everyone's gonna have their own version of that story. So it just depends on what you like or don't like. It's like saying like, oh, like I like rosé wine, but it's like that's a girly wine. But it's like that's an opinion. You know what I mean? People could drink rosé all day if they want, or people can be champagne drinkers or like white wine, red wine. Doesn't really matter. Just at the end of the day, there's different tequila for everyone's palate. You know what I mean? If you like something a little bit more stronger, something that's not as sugary, you're gonna go for more like a Blanco or a Joven tequila. If you like Scotch and whiskey, you're gonna aim more towards añejo because you want that barrel kind of oaky flavor.
And Respirado falls where?
Reposado falls right in the middle.
Okay.
Reposado falls right in the middle. So you're talking about you're getting a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of oakiness, but it's not overpowering. So this actually, my bad. I already now need to correct myself. This is actually a reposado that's been filtered. So these folks at Maestro were like the first ones to do this. Them and Don Julio, part of the same family, or not, no, Don Julio is part of a different family, my bad. This is part of the Cuervo family. So Cuervo is like a master distiller. They own hella companies, bro. hella brands.
Are they owned by another?
They're like the main. Jose Cuervo's the main.
Are they owned
distiller.
by? Okay, so they're the top of the food chain.
Right. And then folks like Patron have sold to Bacardi and other people over the years. So everyone kind of has their, their main company that owns them, right? Jose Cuervo is kind of like one of the biggest ones in Mexico, and they own, like I said, they own a lot of companies. 1800, Jose Cuervo, Maestro. But Maestro was like one of the first ones that actually took tequila and filtered it out to create.
Maestro?
Yeah, to create a cristalino. So this is a cristalino tequila. That's what they call it, crystallized.
Cristalino.
So that's why it's clear.
I love all those pronunciations you have.
I should be teaching you Spanish on the show too. All right. So without further ado, what I like to do, salud. Take a little
like
sniff.
E40, like
Was he for E40?
What's he do? He's like, you're not above me, you're not below me, you're right next to me. Is that his little thing that he does?
That is pretty clean, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so shout out Earl. You know what I'm saying? But this is the Tequila Transactions, man.
All right. So what I want you to do, bro, I want you to take
it.
It's all good.
Okay.
But now I'm gonna teach you another way how to drink it, though. I want you to get a little sniff of it. And like when you inhale, I want you to hold that breath, and then you're gonna take a sip, but don't swallow it. You're gonna kind of let it sit in your mouth for a little bit, swallow it, and then exhale through your mouth. So let me show you. So take a little sniff right here.
Yeah.
Doesn't burn. You get the taste of it. You're not overwhelming your senses, because what you're doing is you're preparing your senses. Once you get that little sniff, then once you hold it in your mouth, you get the taste buds get all a hold of it. Swallow it and exhale through your mouth. So you're kind of creating like a little cipher kind of circle.
Sounds like you've been
little cyclone.
Sounds like you've been studying the symbiotic relationships.
I've gone many times to tequila, my friend. I've been to tequila many times, and I've been taught the ways of los borrachos.
I know the Los Borrachos very well.
Yeah,
Those are good friends of mine.
Yeah. I've been taught their ways.
But so this kind of like a typical approach that you would find on like distilleries and tasting rooms.
And you have to get almost dropped it, bro. It's a good thing I had to held by the stem. You know what I mean? Got to secure it.
Grab the thing by the stem.
But this is also a special made glass for tequila. The way it's fluted, it allows essentially the alcohol vapors to evaporate, and you get that little swivel around. You kind of oxygenating it. Because a lot of times you're not really supposed to just take a hit out the bottle unless you're trying to get really tore up. But what you really want to do is you want to aerate it a little bit.
That's them Patron days, huh?
Yeah, I do. Those are the worst days. Those days are behind me.
What's below Patron?
Cuervo.
Oh,
Cuervo Gold.
You know what?
The bottom shit. That's the shit they used to rub your feet when your feet are aching.
You know what we used to drink in high school? The only thing that we could really get our hands on was Bacardi Gold.
Oof.
Talk about rough.
Give me the heebie-jeebies. All right, so little sniff.
Breathe, put it on your palate.
A little sniff, hold it on your palate,
and then
swallow, and then exhale through your mouth. You don't got to take a big swig, but it'll essentially you should have a little bit of a different taste to it, though.
What a bliss experience.
Blissful. All right. So just take it in, take mental notes, what you like, what you don't like about it, and then we're
might need a notepad to write stuff down.
I mean,
this is the most tequila I've drank in
a minute,
8 years. Ricky wants all the contractor secrets. Damn, boy.
Tastes quite lovely.
Dripping like water.
Yes, sir. It tastes, in my opinion, I like it.
So that was out of the nice bottle.
Now you got to compare it. You got to tell me what's different, because there's a big difference.
I already told you the first distinction I made is, you know what the other one is? You know how I know the difference? Those motherfuckers got a QR code. If your shit luxury, you might not have a QR code.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
They really want you to get a hold of them.
They really want you to know.
It's like luxury. Luxury is like, you got to seek us out. We ain't doing too much for you to get a hold of us. You got to come to our door. If you're not luxury, shit, I might have to get rid of my QR code. That's let's take my QR code off my marketing stuff.
And then also check the difference out in the pour. That one's open. This one got a little filtration system on it, so.
And the filtration system.
It's just for an easier pour. Sometimes you got a little pop.
I might have
to pop it a little.
That's
bit.
That's a child safety thing where you gotta take the thing out, bro.
Yeah, let me make sure. There it goes.
You gotta
cut because it's like a little ball that's inside here that kind of
those little
allow. It's like
those fucking little
see, look, watch. It's gonna be a little bit. See, smooth. Look at that.
Damn,
smooth, baby.
Out like fucking
smooth,
like almost like a caramel dripping. All right, so
take your time. There's no rush.
No rush. All right, number 2. Now, have you already tasted both of these?
Yes, I have, sir.
Okay.
I'm very aware of what's going to happen. I'm very aware of what's going to happen.
My jacket's already come off, Ricky. I'm not willing to take off anything else.
It's not that kind of show.
Episode
after
hours.
hours.
Might get like that. You never know.
After hours. All right, so, pardon me, same approach.
Okay.
Same approach, you know what I mean? A little sip.
Well, first I want to check out the legs, see if they're coming down.
Well, yeah, see, check them out, bro. They should be coming down really nice.
So these legs are a little bit different. I'm not noticing.
What are you noticing?
Let me tell you what I'm noticing.
Tell me.
So I'm seeing it more like the last one. It looked more individual for the legs. It wasn't like running down the same way. It wasn't running down how you described if it was like a higher sugar content. Mm-hmm. But this one looks like it's blanketing more the whole base of the glass, and it's coming down more like a larger curtain. Maybe big legs versus
big legs versus little legs.
Little legs. Yeah, I definitely noticed a difference in the legs, though. Am I tripping or not?
No, you're not tripping.
Okay.
There's a reason for that.
I passed the first test. Are you gonna tell me about the reason?
I'm gonna tell you after we're done drinking it.
Okay, cool.
I'll tell you after we're done drinking it. What's the reason for it?
So we are noticing some differences.
Smells the same.
Smells like high school.
Smells like college.
Smells like middle school. Smells like college. Where'd you go to college at? Tell me after that sip.
East Bay Hayward.
Oh, shout out East Bay Hayward. Hey, we kept it in the hood. I was at CCSF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Straight hood. It's the block. Yeah, there's a huge difference. What do you notice right away?
I don't know that spicy's the word to describe it.
It's more spicy to you?
Yeah.
Man, then why do I need to take another sip? Think about everything that you kind of like, everything that you kind of experienced on the first one, and then just kind of like think about what you're tasting here, taste wise, everything. Like there's a difference.
God, there's so much pressure.
There's a difference. Nah, take your time, bro. There's plenty to go around. There's 2 full bottles right here.
I feel like I should have been drinking tequila like the week leading up to this to be more prepared. Like I'm like, Ricky didn't send me any questions to answer.
No, man, we're going with the flow. This is
This is all natural.
improv, baby. The way it comes out is the way we're recording it.
I love it.
Raw, uncut, unfiltered.
This is going on the OnlyFans. version of the Tequila Transactions, or?
No, but that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Hey, shout out episode 1 now. We
Good
went from
idea.
52 to 1.
We may have to dim the lights.
Well, I just want to say we do take care of lighting in all of our projects. I do put in dimmers for that reason, to create ambiance, to create mood, which is something that a lot of flippers do not do because those dimmers cost more money. That shit drives me crazy because, like, for instance, when I leave this house, I can leave the chandelier on. I can leave those other chandeliers on. I can turn off all the overhead lights. And when you come in, you're immediately greeted with this completely different experience and sensation of walking through the house and experiencing it, because you don't have just like lighting that's like an operating table shining down, right?
That was sexy as hell.
Yeah, lighting is a big thing that I'm
Damn.
into too.
You damn near made me want to go to my house and just leave chandeliers on. See how it would it feel like?
He's going back every night in the mood, like we ready to do everything right now.
I'm trying to put on a robe.
We can write RPAs in a row. We can do whatever.
Trying to test out that tub and that bathtub with some bubbles, bro.
That's the extended version of Tequila Transactions, episode 52, the tub. Tub scene. All right, so back to the tasting.
Do you notice anything different?
This one is a little bit smoother for me.
Yes, it is.
It feels a little bit like lighter.
Yep.
And
Yep.
smoother, lighter.
Yep. You're hitting the nails on the head.
And I'm not sure like what kind of like that what is the best way to describe that classic kind of like tequila sensation, that tequila smell, right? Because I know it's really unfair just to blanket that across the board towards all tequilas. I'm sure like if you were in somewhere pretty well established, if you're like, oh, this smells like fucking Patron, that's probably pretty sinful to say. However, imagine that what is it uniquely about tequila? How is it described in your humble opinion?
I would say I would say that every tequila is different as far as like their flavor profile, their smell, their texture, because majority of them are using blue agave, and that's kind of what you need to create tequila is blue agave, and needs to be grown in the state of Jalisco or a few surrounding areas like Michoacan and things like that. So there's a few little areas that fall within the region of Jalisco to be able to call it tequila. But everyone's process is very, very different. You have more traditional, like artisanal kind of style tequilas. You have stuff that's very commercialized, like Don Julio, things like that. And there's a whole different process in the creating of it, the distilling part of it, and the aging part of it as well. Like you're not just talking about the way you grow it, because that also has a huge impact on the quality as well, how you grow it, where you grow it, but then how you take it from there. Like obviously the jimadores are the ones that go out there and cut the piñas. So the piñas is like the pineapple, the actual agave. So what they'll do is they'll take them. Sometimes depends how they cook them too. They got to cook them a certain way. They got to grind them down in a certain way to extract all the alcohol from the actual piña. But then some people have different processes of distillation where they're using steel tanks. They're using different styles of technology and things like that. But then also, like, once you have the actual tequila, it's a joven. It's like when it's ready to go and you're not going to age it, it's a joven. Blancos usually are in the barrel they can be in the barrel for like a month or two. And then typically a reposado is going to be in the barrel for about 3 to 6 months. And then from 6 months to about a year, you have an añejo. And you're talking about deeper color, more caramelized, more sugar content, just a lot smoother because now you're aging it much longer in a barrel to kind of do the same effect with like a whiskey. And so you're kind of still getting some of those notes because a lot of people really like that oakiness taste, and that's where they gravitate towards, or more añejos. But then even the step further, that is doing an extra añejo where you're talking about it's going to be in the barrel for at least 12 months to 2 years to 3 years. It just depends how long. Also got to realize that Mexico is super hot, super humid. So a lot of times they're storing these things underground because a lot of that alcohol content evaporates and gets lost. So just depending on their process, the way they distill it, the way they age it, they're all going to smell different. They're all going to taste a little different. But you hit the nail on the head that this one is smoother and this one is, the legs are a little bit like, they're not as essentially as, in my opinion, not as exact. Like they weren't as crazy as like the very first one. Like they weren't like how you pointed out, like the very beginning, like we saw the legs that were kind of like thinner and
Much more defined.
Much more defined. And the second time around is because we have less alcohol content here. Less alcohol content means a more smoother tequila. So essentially what happens is when it gets shipped to the United States, they can bottle it up to 40% alcohol and they max it out every single time. So this is a bottle this is bottled in the US and has 40% alcohol content. This one is bottled in Mexico and sold in Mexico, hence the QR code and the seal of approval right here.
We was wrong on that one, huh?
And 35% alcohol content.
Okay.
So that 5% alcohol content makes a huge difference in taste. It's not going to get you that much more fucked up or drunk or anything. You're getting a much better product because you're not overwhelming the tequila with alcohol.
Yeah.
So when they max it out, they're adding 5% more alcohol to this, which is going to give you more hangovers. It's going to give you a different taste, a different profile. And as we saw kind of in the viscosity of it, obviously these are going to be a little bit more defined. These are going to be a little bit larger or kind of slower because it's not as viscous as this. Because the alcohol content really makes those legs were hella quick coming down because of the alcohol content. So both are really, really good tequila. Some people some people just don't love cristalinos and that's their prerogative. I really enjoy them just because they're smoother. They can be mixed. They can be enjoyed by themselves. But at the end of the day, it's upon your palate. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I always tell people, like, if you don't like tequila, it's because you probably had a shitty tequila in your life or you had something that really fucked you up and then the next day you're like, who the fuck gave me those drinks? Or what the hell was I drinking?
Or you're mixing that night.
Or you're mixing that night and then you wake up all upset, like, what the hell's going on? And you're trying
blame it on the tequila.
Blame it on the tequila, right? But
Jamie Foxx made a song about that.
Yeah.
Blame it on Patron, got me in the zone, blame it on the goose, got you feeling loose, blame it on the alcohol.
there you go. Exactly, 100%, bro. So it's like,
Blame Ricky.
don't blame me and don't blame my recommendations because they're all good. All my recommendations are A1 sauce. But no, I mean, at the end of the day for me, bro, that's why I always say no seal, no deal. And everyone on my show, everyone that watches the show knows I always point out, like, no seal, no deal. I always like bringing tequila back from Mexico because it tastes that much better. It's cheaper. And I always try to smuggle as much as I can back in my luggage. And I purposely don't take that much close to Mexico with me because I want to leave room for
the only clothes you take is like really for like packing and security.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can
And then
wrap.
I take-
I'm saying so you can wrap the
then,
bottles up so they can get
and
back.
yeah, and
safely.
then me and my girl Ashley, we always take these little. We discovered these little things on Amazon. And we're like, it's like a sleeve that you can blow up. So you put the bottle inside the sleeve, and then you blow it up, and it creates like a little kind of bubble wrap around the bottle. So just ways we have become more efficient and more smart about packing the tequila because we don't want to lose any of it. And knock on wood, I haven't lost one bottle yet. Like maybe one or two have leaked, but I haven't lost anything in transit. So shout out TSA. Appreciate y'all for not taking my tequila away from me. But
it was probably leaking because they swapped it out with a little bit of water. They might have watered it down some.
they probably were.
Motherfuckers.
They were probably trying to steal it for themselves, bro.
Wow.
But no, just different, bro. Same but different. It's just like
Same,
different,
but
but different. Exactly. Same but different. But ultimately, it's up to the person, up to their palate. Whatever they want to drink is what they. But just I say, do you? Don't be afraid to try different things. Don't be afraid to venture off. Like I'm always trying new shit too. Like there's so much new tequilas coming out. There's always like something new and different always coming out. So for me, it's like I got to stay on top of the game too. I'm not trying to fall behind and have Ernesto know about everything.
Damn, Ernesto.
I mean, I'm only talking shit because you said you're gonna throw hella shit.
Oh, for sure. We definitely. This is episode 52 is with a subtitle like trolling Ernesto Hernandez.
No. But in all seriousness, bro, there's a lot out there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I haven't even scratched the surface. I think every time I go to Mexico, there's something new, something different. There's always some.
What are your tequila dreams? Like, what's on like the bucket list? Ricky's bucket list for tequila is to.
Oh, dude, what I really want to do is I want to stay in those barrels, like in the.
You want to stay in the barrels?
Like, you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen those?
No fucking idea.
So
what you're
just
talking
Google tequila barrel
Airbnb?
hotel. So they made these barrels, and they have them in the fucking harvest, like where the tequila is actually being where the literally where the crop is, like where all the tequila is being grown. They've like literally made these barrels, and you can stay there. So I honestly just want to
How
get.
big are the barrels?
Yeah, probably the size of this living room. It's like
and that's what they're fermenting in also.
it's like well, no, hell no. It's just like a barrel that they built for people to sleep in.
So
So it's like think of it like an Airbnb kind of thing that they
so
built out on literally built it out on their property. I just want to stay in one. I think it would be kind of cool one day just to like get faded as hell and just go to sleep there and wake up and just like, oh shit, like
keep getting faded as hell.
yeah, why not? Why not? You know what I mean?
All right. So what else is on the bucket list?
Uh,
Barrel Airbnb.
for sure,
Jalisco.
for sure go to the tequila and stay in one of those barrels for sure. I think the next thing I definitely would love to create something. Like I think that would be
Crazy.
amazing just to fucking have like, yeah.
Okay. Would you like contract out another distillery and then
most likely
and then work with them to like develop wine or brand?
Exactly. So a lot of people do that.
What's the name of the brand?
Oh man,
Alvarez and Associates.
Alvarez. No, man. I think call it like. I think it'd be based around the show,
Legs falling down tequila.
like call it Tequila Transactions or TNT or something like
TNT would be lit.
something like that. You know, something along the lines of the show, like to commemorate the show. But I think it'd be cool.
Like a baby will taste that one.
You want to try it again?
Like a baby will taste that one.
I knew you were gonna ask for it. You can't say no to this one, bro. You tell me when.
Just a little bit more. Maybe like double that. Just to confirm, like a score right there. Just want to like make sure.
You're just double
Just
checking.
make sure. Right.
Just want to make sure it's still solid.
It's like I would equate it to like one extra screw. Just like put one extra screw in it.
Yeah,
What's the harm at that point? We're just putting in one more screw. Just make sure.
Make sure it's solid.
Yeah, it's okay. And it just felt like awkward. It felt awkward having an empty glass. I guess. How you gonna be on tequila and transactions?
Yeah, I know.
with an empty glass?
I mean, there's.
I might not be a
lot
drinker.
of crazy things have gone on the show.
I don't want to disrespect the host, though. You know.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. That's why I brought 2 bottles. You know what I mean? I don't know how much partying was gonna go down. So, I got to be ready. You know, I got to make sure my cameraman is feeling good over there. I got to make sure my partner in crime over here is feeling good, and making sure she's bringing us snacks and Jamba Juice and all kinds of stuff to keep us hydrated.
Shout out to Ashley, making sure we
Appreciate y'all,
we
for real.
didn't start the show on empty stomachs.
Yeah, I know, because that would have been all bad. That's happened before, and it's gone awry. It's gone awry really fast. But no, it's been fun, man. Honestly, like it's just been fun to like step away from work a little bit, just kind of like I said, break bread with somebody else.
Would be one of your fantasy guests on the show? Like if you had, I know you got me crossed off the list now. Cool, RJ's off the list.
Yeah, dude.
But like after RJ, like who's like second in line for being like most sought after to get onto the show? Real estate or not? You know what I'm saying? It could be fucking Michael Jordan. It could be.
No, that's what I was thinking too. Like I think it would be cool as shit to have like a celebrity.
Yeah.
And I think it would be cool as shit to have. Man, I'm just like running through names in my head.
Is it gonna be E40 if you're watching this? Call Ricky.
I think that would be fucking dope.
Bro,
like
if 40 was on the show,
I think it would be fucking awesome to talk about, you know, why tequila and why he ventured off in that, and like talk about just his vision in business, because I mean, dude, 40 Water has been around since I was a kid, bro. Like 40 Water is the ambassador of the Bay, bro. So like his music, and then now just like what he's taken from like his music to now into alcohol, into food, into all these things that he's doing. And dude, he's just super connected. I mean, he does a lot for the people in the Bay Area, a lot for the people in his community in Vallejo, and like, I just think it would be cool shit. I think that would be cool shit to like just have like a celebrity like E40 who's a mogul. You know what I
Everyone
mean?
tag this video, tag E40.
Yeah, E40, we want you on the show,
I
dog.
want to be on the show.
We want you on we want you on this show, 40 Water.
And then another pack. Can I just like put that out there? No, it's like a requirement.
Yeah,
After you drop your tequila line, can we put it in La Chamba first?
sure.
La Chamba is also going to be
Sure.
the grand opening.
That was another person I would really love to have on the show was Ben Rojas.
Ben Rojas, you right around the corner, Ben. Morocco, where you
Like
at?
I would love to have Ben on the show. I think it would be kind of dope to do it in his restaurant. That'd be kind of cool.
Dude, Ben was trolling me the whole time we were doing work here. It was so funny.
Did he ever bring you guys food?
He brought us food during our
That's cool.
deck construction.
Cool.
When we started pouring, we made a funny video on that. But he would just like randomly, because I mean, we didn't have like a terrible amount of security here. I mean, fucking Lafayette, so we weren't really
Yeah, worried about
that
people.
fool would be like coming in just like hella randomly. He's just like sopping in the jaw. It would be the funniest shit when he'd be like tagging me hella randomly, and I'm just like, what the fuck, Ben's like walking the house right now? Be like, oh, RJ's gonna put his Power Ranger setup right here on the wall. Fucking Ben.
Yeah, Ben's a character, bro. I love that guy, man. He's hella funny.
Shout out Ben Rojas.
Shout out to you, homie. We need you on the show.
We're gonna be giving hella shout outs on episode 52.
No, I think that would be cool though. I think E40 would be dope just because I can like obviously talk to him about tequila, talk to him about his business, and I think dude, he's taking it to the next level. Snoop Dogg would be another person too, because
Snoop Dogg would be a fucking riot.
Snoop, in my opinion, like
Is he a
dude.
tequila drinker? Can we confirm that?
I mean, we can make it a tequila and smoke transaction show. Like, why not? Like, kicking it with Uncle Snoop.
It'll be tequila transactions and tarantulas.
There you go. Tequila transactions and tarantulas. What else? And THC.
THC. There you go. I was trying to think
THC,
of like what is
THC tequila
Cannabis.
transactions. Well, yeah, I mean that would be cool shit. Just because like these guys like their whole mindset of like has shifted, like being rappers and now really taking
straight to business.
Dude, it's like, dude, Snoop was all over the Olympics. He was all over hella shit. Like, dude, he's like doing a lot of things that that kids can look up to. You know what I mean? And it's not just like, oh, he's a rapper and he was this and he was that, but it's like now what he's doing. And not only that, but what he's doing with the youth and his football program. And I didn't even know this too, but like they were talking about it the other day on, I think it was Sunday Night Football when the Houston Texans were playing, that CJ Stroud was actually a participant of Snoop Dogg's football camp in Long Beach. And I was dope as shit. Like he's like a product of something that Snoop has done to like really kind of like get kids out of
You seen
violence and
you
shit.
seen his movie that just came out on it?
Nah, Snoop got a movie? Oh shit, where's it at? Netflix?
Underdogs. I think it's on. It's out. I mean, Netflix or Prime or something.
Oh, okay.
It's him.
Gotta check
It's
that
him.
out.
It's him being a former NFL star, turned kind of like drop out of the industry, morphing into community leader, working with the youth back in Long Beach and everything like that. Mike Epps is in it. It's pretty spot on. Like it's pretty spot on.
Dope.
It's pretty spot on.
And then the Mexican part of me definitely would love to have like my boy Luis Eric Enriquez on here.
No Canelo.
Canelo would be dope. That's my cousin, bro. Canelo Alvarez, that's
where
my
you
cousin.
at, bro?
That's my cousin. But yeah, having Canelo would be dope.
We'll build you a house too while you at it.
Yeah, that'll be sick having Canelo on here because he's hella funny. And I think it'd be hella funny for like us to be shooting the shit, maybe talk a little golf because he's a huge golfer too.
You done any episodes in all Spanish?
I've done one, yeah.
With who?
One of my friends from Mexico.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because she was working at a tequila company doing a lot of their marketing, and so we kind of were talking around like things that she's been seeing in tequila and like the marketing and all that stuff. And one big thing that was big a couple years ago was making our tequila more organic for folks who
Get the white people on board.
Yep.
What's
Get the seal of approval, from the folks who care about that kind of stuff.
What's the next kind of like wave that tequila industry is shifting or focusing in on? Like what's kind of like
Well, right now there's a
the next
lot
advances?
of
Is it technology that's being introduced?
technology is huge. I would say technology is a big proponent of like what they're trying to do to help things be more efficient on the grow level, but also on the production level.
And does that compromise the integrity of tequila? Is that the?
I will say
the debate.
I will, yeah, well, 100%. I will say that as tequila has gotten more and more attractive and in demand, there's companies that have started to cut corners because they want to produce things faster, not just at the level of like production for growth for like the harvest, but like actually producing it quicker. And so, in my opinion, they're just rushing the product, and it's not making for a very. It's not making a. It's not authentic. It's not legitimate. You know, you're talking about they're cutting corners. They're just trying to put it out in the market quick, and I think that's why a lot of these big companies have really changed. And like, Don Julio 1942 don't taste the same anymore.
When did it lose?
Like 2 years ago, or like right after COVID.
Damn,
right after
recently.
COVID. Yeah, like they got a huge hype during COVID, and then just kind of started falling off. A lot of big companies, bro. Like a lot of big companies have changed. Like we used to be really, really good when it first came out. Was Casamigos trash now? It's not the same because once George Clooney sold it to those Chinese investors for like I think it was like $2 billion or $1 billion, whatever it was, it doesn't taste any same. It just doesn't taste the same anymore. One company, I would say one company. Shout out to Siete Leguas. Siete Leguas has always stayed the fucking same. Siete Leguas is like I live and die by Siete Leguas. If you see Siete Leguas,
know that
buy
you went
it.
for a good time. You went for a good ass time,
Dude. All
Shout out
these
Victor
years, yeah, for real though. Victor Reyes is the one who brought
I
on
feel
the
like
show.
he needed a shout out right there.
Victor
I feel like
Reyes-
he needed a shout out right there.
Victor Reyes was the one that brought it on my show, and he brought like 3 bottles on the show. I was like,
Damn, look at that. That wasn't even, you feel me, scripted.
he was like,
that wasn't even
no,
scripted.
it wasn't. Nah, bro.
But it
It's
just
funny you
felt
say
like
that.
a Victor Reyes like bottle, you know, the way you said it. I was just
Bro.
like, I was like, shout out Richmond, shout out Victor right there,
Bro, Victor pulled up one time in one of my OG offices and was like,
He was like, hey,
I know
Ricky, check this out.
he was like, bro,
Probably has some Nikes on.
he's like, bro, yeah, for real though, some Jordans on. He goes, bro, I brought mezcal and 2 bottles of tequila. I was like, bro, I only bought 1. Like, how you gonna outdo me on my own show, bro? But yeah, we definitely, that was probably one of the longest tequila transactions. It went like for 4 hours, bro. We recorded for like an hour and a half, and then 2.5 hours of just talking and drinking.
Nice.
And he was all upset because he's like, bro, you're not even gonna take me out to dinner.
Well, like, you can go hit the fridge and see what you find, brother. That's about it.
And no, but it was a great episode. We talked a lot, man. We vibed a lot, and I mean, I got to know him so much better. And he knew.
Was this before you guys were like,
Yeah.
fucking?
We were NAREP at that time. We were like just
who?
kind of starting NAREP.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Who
In the
that?
very beginning, like yeah, when we first started kind of like just getting together, and he came out and showed a lot of love, and we just had a good time just talking about family and business and everything, bro. We talked about a lot of shit, and tequila was what brought us together. A little bit of mezcal in there, but mostly tequila. But yeah, I think it would be cool as hell, man, to bring on some folks like that. I mean,
Celebrities. Let's see.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
yeah,
Bucket list is you gonna stay at the Barrel
yeah,
in Jalisco,
yeah, man. Hopefully one day create a little something on my own.
and then thinking about the technology and the impact that it's gonna have in the industry moving forward.
Yep, a lot.
Ricky's eventually gonna have his own tequila brand.
Hopefully, yeah.
What do you mean? Hopefully, you about to have,
It's about to happen.
Hopefully, it's gonna happen.
Hopefully, yeah. If I live to see that long,
Okay,
and
and
God lets me, that's what we're gonna have.
La Champa's gonna be the first one to do the grand opening for it, and then okay, so we got all that checked off on the list. What else is going on with tequila? What's your like worst tequila story? You're just like, oh fuck, I wish I could delete this night out of my fucking
Yeah, it was
life.
probably Patron.
Can we have
Early
can we have
2000s.
like is it a sad story or is it kind of like you just
Nah, it's just one of those times where, like, you know, it was me, it was the Cuzzos, and it's like
Borrachos?
early 2000s. The Borrachos all went out, and that's what we were drinking was Patron. And I remember like we were drinking Patron before we left.
pre-gaming with Patron?
We went to Walnut Creek when Walnut Creek used to have Redux. Back in the day,
was it?
You ever hit Redux in Walnut Creek? So, yeah, well, there you go. It was when Clayton Walnut Creek used to have. I don't know why I thought Clayton, but it's because we were hanging out at my cousin's house in Clayton, and we drove to Walnut Creek. But Redux was one of the nightclubs in Walnut Creek, and yeah, we got pretty faded before we left. We got there, and it was just all downhill from there. Yeah, it was
Everyone
bad.
made it back safe though.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. we a couple bouncers at the venue didn't go home. Didn't go home. So
A couple of bouncers didn't go home.
Yeah.
So they went to work, but they didn't go home that night.
Well, they went to home a little bit sore because they got a little 1-2 action from some of us. They got a little too grabby with one of us, and
Boys, don't get grabby with
just go to
the Alvarez and Bracho crews.
Yeah, they didn't.
Not someone you want to grab on.
They didn't know who they were messing with, and then it was one of those nights where like they were like, just get the fuck out of here, because what else were we gonna do? Like they were trying to get a little too grabby. They didn't know that we were fucking rolling deep, and it didn't end up so well for them. And we just went home early that night. So it is what it is.
What about one of the most like, you wish you could just relive that fucking night again? Tequila.
I think Mexico, man. There's been so many.
I got some motherfucking stories about Mexico.
There's been so many Mexico, like, just good times, bro. Like, hanging out with the fam, drinking, going out to the ranch, just like chilling, not giving a fuck because no one can hear you, just slapping music, chilling,
Y'all
dude.
listen to Corridos?
Some straight up corridos, bro. Some straight old school corridos, bro.
We filmed the Corridos music video here. You see?
Yeah, I do.
I showed you.
You showed me.
Yeah, I showed it to you.
You showed me. That boy Eddie Chapo was the one that came through and put.
Shout out Eddie Chapo.
Yeah, Eddie Chapo was the one who turned this house into a movie.
To a real live set.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
bro,
he
but
hit me up instantly. He's like, bro, like, I gotta shoot here.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to end it, man. Like, tell us a little bit about the house, bro. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that you guys did here.
This was one that Derek Rodriguez had as a pocket listing. Shout out Derek Rodriguez in Remax, and then it was a probate. They wanted to bring it online onto market. Mm-hmm. So we weren't able to secure it as just like a completely off market property. We did pick it up at a pretty good entry, and then it was just like an extensive rehab. Yeah. So
it shows, man. You guys did such great work, dude.
And it's this property, along with like all the other projects that we've done, the design's always been built out. The vision's always been built out a little bit. Once you get further along into the project, you can kind of get some ideas in regards to very baseline, okay, walls here, openings here, right, windows here, so on and so forth, and then you can pick out a little bit more of this flavor,
right,
as the project evolves. And that's constantly, like, especially with flips, that's one of the hardest things. And for someone like myself, I often get criticized for the emphasis on design, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm very much so like a contrarian, so against the grain. And it's just been like that my whole life. I grapple with my challenges of like authority and being controlled and whatnot. And it's not to just be like resentful of authority. It's just, it makes me feel extremely limited. Probably one reason why I'm still single too. It's just like, bro, like,
ladies,
I'm sorry.
My man is single, Holland.
Well,
holla.
Good luck trying to holla. Because it's just like, for design for us, it's like you're trying to get it all done, but you're trying to, you get into escrow. Yeah. You're still trying to tackle, just like, even with a consumer retail residential transaction, right? Like, even though you get into escrow, you still have whatever it is, 14, 35 days to complete the transaction, or longer if there's extensions involved.
Right.
So during that piece, it's like, how much time, how much capital are you going to spend to other investments? What happens if you don't end up actually closing on that transaction, right? What's that additional cost that you just spend in terms of time for design, or in terms of capital for architectural or structural or whatever it may be? That really is extremely critical when you're doing a flip. Is like time is your biggest enemy, right?
Yep.
Like it's
100%.
Slowly eating at your profit day after day, and that's one thing that I'm being constantly reminded of by partners, and that's something that you need to like be really good at, and that's why a lot of flippers default to using the same products in every project, right? And I get it, like, the stuff sells, people buy it. It's just so fucking boring. And
I get it.
And as a creative, that's one thing that I have troubles grappling with. And for me, like ultimately, one of the biggest compliments is when people are coming in here, and I've been here when they've said it. It's just like, this doesn't look or feel like a flip at all. Right?
No way.
There's just way too much consideration for details that it helps to instill confidence in buyers, because they're like, okay, if they're going all out here and it's not just cookie cutter kind of like design that we're seeing everywhere else, then they really have put a ton of care into it. Much like with tequilas, right? Like those products that are front of the line that you really want to like show off, right? You're showing them off for a certain reason, because there's been so much emphasis and quality that's going into it. So that's how I've kind of branded myself in our industry for real estate and for construction. And I think like people would definitely, you know, they're not calling me for doing like trying to get me to do really quick, easy,
cliche shit.
Quick, easy, kind of like jobs for like the cheap. Like that's one of the hardest things, like dealing with realtors, especially for getting properties prepped for market, is oftentimes I won't be the person to really service them, because like the margin's way too small for like my time. And the biggest thing I've had to evaluate in this last month and a half of me not having to do project management on a day-to-day basis is like, what's the highest ROIs for myself, right? So working on, you know, the process of considering like a VA, leveraging a VA,
right?
What's like, even with yourself as a realtor or anyone else or a lender, like what are the tasks that really are absorbing too much of your time that can be outsourced for anywhere between, you know, $5 to $12 an hour? Is it worth you doing that? Like one of the most powerful things that I've always been told, that I think the one that stuck with me the most is an Instagram piece of content that came up for me, and they were just like, dude, if you're the CEO and you're doing work that we can outsource for $40 an hour, you're fired, right? Like why the fuck are you doing stuff that we can outsource for $40 an hour? So having to reevaluate my entire business in terms of like, okay, even what I'll do is, for me right now, trying to find more realtors to reach out to for construction projects. It's like scrubbing the MLS, seeing what projects just closed recently that could use a kitchen or bath update, and then reaching out to those specific realtors, right? So that isn't a very technical skill, and that's something even that I should consider leveraging out to a VA, because them doing it $12 an hour frees up my time to get on the phone and actually be making those calls. So less of trying to find who are these clientele to potentially go after, and more like doing the touches and actually building the relationships with people. So it's constantly just like constant reevaluation of what is your highest ROI task that you are doing or you should be doing in your business, right?
Yeah. And that's like an ongoing struggle even for me, bro. Like I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm like, the way I did business 10 years ago is not the way I do business now, but like obviously.
And it shouldn't be, because then you're not evolving.
Exactly. But can I get better? Can I get more efficient? Yeah. And I think my biggest thing is like, I like to really have my hands on a lot of things and like make sure that like I'm there, or I feel like shit's going to go wrong. And like, I have to just kind of get rid of that mentality, because it's not going to let me grow. It's not going to let me hand off things to my VA or to my assistant or to my marketing person. And I've gotten better at that this year. Like a lot of stuff, like I've let my marketing person do it. And shout out to you, because you know the person that Noah uses is the person who I'm still using too. And like, you know, he's really good about I'm just like sending him videos. He'll just edit them and post them for me. So like, and that frees up my time, because I was spending hours of my time doing that shit every week, and just, you know, from recording to then editing to then posting to then, or creating the caption and then posting and all that shit, it takes so much fucking time. And so now I'm just trying to find more ways I can be more efficient at that, delegate that kind of stuff, and just focus on going out and getting contracts, getting buyers, getting sellers and things like that. Because although I have a lot of fun doing it, it's not my highest ROI fucking producing activity. Yeah. And so I need to really be focused on just like creating those relationships with other realtors so I can get repeat and referral business from them. Also,
Consider.
Well, yeah, bro. Like I always try to like, and people always, I have a lot of people who are like, well, why are you fucking always like marketing yourself to realtors or like, or mingling with realtors?
How you're marketing yourself.
But it's like, dude, it's because I get 5 or 6 referrals a year from people who are out of my area, people who are in LA County or down in LA or out of state. Like I always make it, I put a huge emphasis and make a, effort to meet folks and exchange phone numbers with them and let them know, like, if you need anybody in the Bay, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that your business is like, you got to envision it like a spider web. Like the more people you touch, the more business you're going to make, the more relationships you're going to have, the more people you can eventually help. So it's like when I go to conferences, when I go to things for either Nora or for my company or whatever it is, like I'm making a huge, I'm putting a huge emphasis and making a huge effort to get to know these people.
Yeah.
People who do a lot of fucking business in areas that I'm not familiar with, because their people move all the time. My people move, and like people need realtor partners that they can count on in different areas of the country. So for me, I really make huge emphasis on that. But more than anything, I always tell people, like, this is a relationship business, like relationship-based business. Like if you're not kissing hands and shaking babies, then you're not going to be doing, you're not going to be growing. And so it's like, you have to be able to go out and get out of your comfort zone and talk to people. And I always tell my agents that work for me, because I have a team myself of 10 agents, I'm like, don't be a secret agent. Like when you're at a party, like even though you think people know you and know what you do, they may not know what you do, and they may have somebody or know somebody they may want to buy or sell. And now you're limiting yourself by not asking questions or even like, inquiring about what they do. They're eventually going to ask you what you do. And then that's just going to open up a conversation for you. So, when in doubt, forward on people. Do you know what forward means?
Found on road dead?
No. So I guarantee you, if you ask somebody revolving these 4 topics, you will never fucking run out of things to talk to people
Family.
about. Occupation.
Oh, okay.
Recreation and dreams. If you talk to people about their family, they're never going to shut up. If you talk to people about their job, they're never going to shut up. If you talk to people what they love to do, they're never going to shut up. And if you talk to people what their dreams are, they're never going to shut up.
Yeah.
So as long as you're talking to people about things that they want to talk about, they're eventually going to ask you, RJ, what do you do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a contractor and a realtor and this and that. Like, my boy needs a contractor. One of my friends needs a realtor. You're limiting yourself. You're hiding in your shell. You're fucking having self-doubt. You're having imposter syndrome. You need to fucking shake that shit, and you need to talk to people, and that's how you're going to get business. If you're not doing those things, if you're not doing those money-making activities or those high ROI activities, you're being complacent.
So, as your couple different questions. The first one would be, where are you pulling data? And I'm sorry for asking you to spill the secret sauce. Where are you pulling?
There is no secret sauce.
There's a little bit of secret sauce.
There's no secret.
You're going to be like, okay, I see what secret sauce you're looking for. Where are you pulling? So if you're looking for referral partners, right? And this is just like speaking to realtors in general.
Yeah.
If you're looking for referral partners, we're in the Bay Area marketplace. Where and how are you getting your data to find out where people are migrating to the Bay Area?
Yeah.
So that's number one. And then second one would be, okay, as you identify those other target markets, say it's Nashville, say it's fucking Idaho, whatever it is, you're, I would imagine, leveraging a CRM, right? Like, how are you staying on top of your either your smart plans or whatever they're called in your specific CRM for following up with those realtors and continuing to grow those relationships? And then also, I imagine you write scrupulous notes on all the forward answers that they give you too, and put it into their profiles and see what's going on.
So sometimes those forward questions are over some tequila drinks, so I may not jot down all those notes.
Yeah.
But I try to really,
just listening in your pocket.
For real. I should have that little
Assistant,
necklace,
turn on.
that little necklace that people be wearing now. But no, I try to really take notes on what people really emphasize and what people talk about it over and over again.
Sure.
Like if they're like, oh, something about sports, and they bring it up again, I'm like, they fucking really love college football. They really love this. They really love
And
that.
are you specifically writing that down in a note on people's profile that you have in a CRM?
Well, I'm usually jotting it down on my phone. Like when I take their number down in my notes, I'm like, oh, this dude really loves football or really loves this. And that's how I know when I meet them again or I see them again and I pull up their contact info, like we're going to talk about that because I know that's what's going to get them to talk. And so for me, I think Instagram has been like, honestly, what has saved me more than anything, because every fucking time I meet a realtor in a market that I obviously want to have a referral partner in, I befriend them on Instagram.
Sure.
And I always make it a habit to like look at their shit, comment on their shit.
Yeah.
Things like
Are
that.
they random? I don't want to say random realtors. Are they just realtors that you idolize, or you
Both.
like
Yeah.
you associate with, or you can simulate with? Or again, to my original question, are you doing targeted specific research to see these are the communities, these are the areas that are specifically moving back into the Bay Area?
I do a little bit of that. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, I know for a fact that a lot of people are leaving the Bay to go to Idaho. A lot of people are leaving the Bay to go to Arizona. A lot of people are leaving the Bay to go to Vegas.
So it's not necessarily inbound. It's also an importance for outbound as well, too.
100%. Because I need to know where I'm going to refer my people.
Exactly.
And at the same time, a lot of those people may want to come back.
Yeah.
They may go out to Texas for a couple of years and decide, like, this isn't for me. I'm going to come back. I want to make sure I'm top of mind for that agent as well, and that they're top of mind for me. So, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff comes from, like, NAR and CAR data. Like, a lot of the data that comes from, like, the big corporations that obviously that oversee everything, like National Association of Realtors and California Association of Realtors, and, like, different, media outlets that I usually, like, I'm always reading into. Like, every week I look at a few different media outlets, and for me, it's like, that's what kind of tells me what I need to be focusing on, or what's going to be happening in different markets in the country and things like that. But I mean, for me, it's like, I'm just grateful that, like, when I go and network at, like, events for Nora or my company at Side, like, I'm going out and, like, meeting people who do a lot of fucking business. So, like, I want to get to know those people. So yes, people that I idolize, but also people who are very good at what they do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm really good at what I do. So I want to be able to rub shoulders with those people, learn from them, but also become their referral partner, also become cool and friends with them too, because I want them to think of me. Like, and I do something a little unique. Me and my business partner, every time we go to our conference, for our Side conference, we take anywhere between 30 to 50 mini bottles of tequila with our business cards on them. And it says, take a shot on us for all your California referrals. And it has our contact info and our IGs on it.
Who was that?
It was me and my buddy Hector.
Dang.
So the bottles were my idea.
And these are about to be the Alvarez bottles coming up soon.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. So I'm gonna make little mini bottles and then go. But yeah, we handed out, our first conference we handed out 50. Last year we handed out about 40-ish, and they paid for themselves.
That's a nice little.
Got two referrals the first year, two now this year, and hopefully hopefully some more. But the very first year we did it, we got a buyer out of it and a listing out of it. And now those same buyers have now become clients of ours and now are buying another property from us. And one of the same girls that referred us in the past is now referring me another listing. This has just called me or referring me a listing this week because she remembers the guys who gave her that bottle of tequila at conference.
Damn.
So little things like that people will stick in people's minds and be like, oh, those are the tequila guys, you know what I mean? Oh, Ricky and Hector, those are the tequila guys. Those are the guys that are in the Bay Area. They know everybody, or they know what to do, or like send them the lead or whatever. Like, so like just being able to kind of like connect with people, but now we're doing it through tequila and like doing it so like people remember us, and it's cool. Like, we've gotten like, everyone has always said really good things about it. We always like, well, every time we're at conference, people look at us like, hey, you got them. So now they know. So now they know, like, oh, they got the tequila bottles. Like, those are the guys. And so, yeah, I mean, we have really a lot of fun with it. But at the end of the day, it's all very intentional. It's all to get more business and to create more relationships with people.
I'm trying to think of what drugs I can give out to people at conferences.
Ibuprofen.
Hey, don't steal me and Ashley's idea. We're going to start doing rolling papers with our business card on it.
Don't take my idea.
We're going to start handing out rolling papers and on the back.
Up in smoke. What your deal is up in smoke? Just playing. What you gonna? So what's the catch on that one?
Roll with us. Roll with us. Roll with us. Call us. So
are you gonna have your faces like imprinted on the papers too?
No.
Nah.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
all of us.
Hell of money. They're gonna be papers. It's not gonna be like blunt wraps or anything like that.
I don't know.
You're not gonna do a blunt wrap line.
We might do a blunt wrap line. A little hemp wraps.
Shout out Cookies. We might need a sponsor.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to Cookies. Burner. We need you on the show, dog. We need you.
Tequila and
That'd be
THC.
Tequila and THC.
Transactions, tequila and THC.
Burner would be another good person to have on the show just because he's
Bro, he's a mogul too.
huge mogul. Like where he's
Bay
he's taking literally a strain of weed and now just turning it into a whole empire.
Yeah.
Cannabis clubs, clothing line, everything. His own line of everything. Like you talk about like cookies is on everything. You name it, it's on it. You know what I mean? Pipes, bongs. This guy's created everything. And so it's like, and like even like creating air fresheners and creating this and creating that. It's like, and then even him is Burner part of that hemp 2.0 drink too or not? That's not somebody else.
Might be.
But yeah, I mean, like the dude is just super talented. You know what I mean? Burner's super talented. Like he took something and just ran with it and like didn't let no one tell him no. And here he is. You know what I mean? And I think that he's another person that I really look up to in the Bay that just really just kind of like took his product and just skyrocket to the moon. You know what I mean? So
have you done like a tequila tasting workshop?
No, but that'll be dope. That's one thing that should, yeah. I don't want to steal Ernesto's thunder.
Fuck Ernesto.
But no, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ernesto. Were you there?
No, but yeah, I think that'd be cool too. I know Ernesto does some of that stuff for some friends and clients and stuff like that. And I think it'd be kind of cool, you know, get together and, you know, invite some people over, do some tequila tasting and, you know, I do a little potluck. People bring the food, I bring the tequila and we'll have some fun, you know? That'd be dope.
Some tacos.
Some tacos and tequila, some TNT. That'd be awesome. Hell yeah, I'm with it.
Anything that starts with a Tatiana can be there too. But not just a specific Tatianas in general. Okay, maybe Tatianas.
Anything else you want to shed some light on? Anything you want to tell the people? I think let them know where to find you. Casa de RJ on Instagram.
Casa de RJ on Instagram, casaderj.com online. If you have clients that need bids for remodels, bathrooms, kitchens, additions, ground up construction, let me know. What else? If you want to invest, that's another one. I know you and I have talked about that as well too.
Yes, sir.
Is looking, you know, this whole other new chapter I think I'm at right now. Investing is definitely a big component to that. So is it better to be investing right now for fix and flips, or is it better to be investing for buy and holds? Like there's maybe one can make an argument for both sides there, right? I think fix and flips, especially in the Bay Area, are a little bit more challenging. As with the deal flow is pretty sparse, margins are pretty sparse, cost of entry is extremely high. So
that's the
right
tough
now,
part,
is it like if we're seeing a national trend on it being slow, like transactions are still happening, don't get me wrong. It is a little bit, I think, slower right now. And if anything, it is a little bit friendlier for buyers in our market. I mean, I'm finding the conversations I'm having with buyers is like, look, any of these properties are sitting on the market, we're looking to see what kind of concessions or what additional help we may be able to get, which was not a conversation we were having a couple years ago. Being a seller myself personally, I know it's been a bit more stressful on that side as well too. So that's why I say it's definitely a little bit friendlier to the buyer side, and why I think that looking at investing and looking at buy and hold properties may be a good time right now to kind of like start deploying capital. So if you want to invest and deploy capital and look at buy and holds, I'm definitely staying a lot more aware of what's going on out of state too, because out of state markets are going to be a bit friendlier for us as operators on the investment side and having landlord positions and having tenants. So that's another big thing that I'm working on. And yeah, help me get to my goals of traveling the world and working remote. I'm not trying to just stay locked down in the Bay. I mean, I've traveled and that's ultimately what I want to do. I mean, back to like what we were talking about earlier in regards to ROI, I'm a big advocate and believer in creating systems. So that's like whether it's construction and creating systems for systems of procedure, how things are built out, how to gauge, how to evaluate quality, how to ensure quality throughout a project. Like those are systems I'm building out. How you can be able to be a remote operator from afar. Like those are super important. And thankfully I have that construction background, which allows me to know, okay, what is it exactly that we need to be aware of during the construction project? How do we gather that information? How do we evaluate that information? Those are extremely important for us to just be cognizant of, because you're going to want to create these different systems to essentially have like your investors, have your group that you're working with as a fund be more successful. So that's really what I'm kind of like up to right now. I mean, other than that, I've been a little bit quieter on social media.
I see you cooking on social media.
Yeah, I've just been doing a lot. I've just been
making some fresh pasta,
I just been sharing a lot more of like a lot of food.
Chef CASA to RJ.
Well, that's like where everything's full circle for me too, right? So when I really can't recall what was that particular moment in my life that was like invest in real estate.
Yeah.
I have no idea what.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So good that you brought that up.
Yeah, I have no idea what was that point. I do know when I was like 18, I didn't have a desire to like. Some of my friends were moving out, and their parents were still paying for them to like live like in their rentals and whatnot. I definitely like that didn't feel comfortable for me to ask my parents to do anything like that. And I ended up going to City College of San Francisco, which was close by, so I was able to stay at home. I started City College of San Francisco, enrolled in the culinary program there because that was the only thing that I could do. I got fucking suspended in high school for a couple of days, like right before Thanksgiving break, and then that was like awful. And then I also wasn't like academically like that inclined, which is super funny because we'll see like social media content every once in a while. It'll be like, you know, the kids that like cheated in school, like they were the smart ones, like they were leveraging their time the best. I was like, damn right, take notes, motherfucker. I was ahead of that shit. I was already grooming myself to be in the management role. So with that being the case, like I wasn't getting, fucking college applications, like bullshit. It was easier for me just like to defer to cooking. Like that's something that I grew up being taught that skill set, which was awesome. It allowed like me to be self-sufficient for myself, my brother, my sister, when my parents went out or whatnot. And it was just like a really useful skill to have. So cooking was out the gate, ended up getting suspended, ended up then looking at Le Cordon Bleu as like the first school for my culinary career. That wasn't going to work out because I got introduced to a chef at Boulevard, had a contact there. So the chef there went through Le Cordon Bleu also, I believe. I mean, it was like 2010. He was like 70 bands to go to the school. So it's not a fucking like, it's not a cheap.
Yo, hell no.
It's not a cheap,
culinary school
it's not a cheap
expensive,
investment.
Hell
So
no.
he's like, you can either he's like, go to City College of San Francisco or pay me $70K and I'll teach you everything. So I ended up going to City College of San Francisco, got my AA. Funny story actually today, cold calling, ended up calling this one person. They have a fire damaged property in Orinda. Going to go out and look at it. They text me today being like, hey, do you have a structural engineer? No problem. I got an engineer right here in Orinda. Providing value, leading with value. And then they're like, oh, how do I refer to you as like to the engineer? I was like, my bad. Forgot to send you my contact card. Set that off. She's like, did you go to City College of San Francisco? I was like, yes, I did. She's like, oh, this is da-da-da-da-da. I hadn't clicked her name before, but as soon as she said that, her last name, I was like, oh shit, that's one of my teachers.
Oh man.
So full fucking
That's
circle.
crazy.
I went from City College of San Francisco,
Yeah.
you know, the relationship there being like student teacher to now into like more continue to the real world, being in the real estate field, and then like connecting with them back on like potentially buying their property or doing like construction for probably like, a nice sized job. So City College of San Francisco, that happened. During City College of San Francisco, this was like probably one of my more pivotal moments, one of my like biggest whys that I'm working to get back to.
Yeah.
So my why was when I started my nonprofit in 2011. So my nonprofit's called OOG, Original Organic Gardener. We do sustainability education focused around garden, energy, and economics, and then how it pertains back to sustainability. I started that because I'm reading about all these chefs when I'm first starting at culinary school, and I'm like, Thomas Keller, Alice Waters, Charlie Trotter, they all create their foundations, right? They're knee deep in the game. They create their foundations. They're fucking ballers, all the shit. They got good contacts and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, why wait 10 years, 20 years to establish yourself, get a Michelin star, to like be able to give back. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'd rather give back now.
Right.
And then I saw it so that's when I started learning about Alice Waters, and no knocking Alice Waters and Chez Panisse or anything like that, but it's just like, your shit doesn't have credibility in the hood. Like they're just looking at it like, oh, that's just some old white lady like teaching us how to fucking garden. Like, fuck that shit. Like I'm trying to get paid today. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not to say that that's a blanketed mentality for East Oakland. However, like I know how it goes down in East Oakland. At City College of San Francisco, I chose intentionally to do my internship at YU Youth Uprising because it was very different than just going to like another high-end restaurant, like picking fucking garnishes. Like, no, I'd rather take what information I have and be able to like share that wealth of knowledge. Exactly.
Right.
And that's like completely different because I'm connecting with a lot more people my age and that are going through like completely different walks of life while being in the same Oakland community. So
that's dope, dude.
So that led into like, so that also had construction involved. 'Cause then we started building like gardens at schools and cooking classes and everything. And the economics component definitely ties into real estate. 'Cause you talk about sustainability, you talk about real estate, you talk about financial literacy, you talk about generational wealth, like all those things are all encompassing to create sustainability.
Right.
So then I opened a bagel shop up around the corner from Team Fast, Second and Broadway. Did that 2013
Oh, damn.
to 2017. So 4 years, ran the block there. Like we grew the shit out of that business. We had one little shotgun location, took over the space next door. That's when, again, more construction started influencing me when we're doing like remodels there. Took over another space. And then another one of my homeboys was kind of like in my ear a little bit, just being like, there's opportunities for construction outside of this. Left the bagel shop because it wasn't going to be able to financially support me the way that I needed to with the amount of effort that I was putting into it. So left there with the intention of getting more into construction, got more into construction with the pretenses for the person that kind of like dragged me into. They just really wanted me to be in their fucking grow house, just like doing like fucking basic shit, like fucking plants. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's like, nah, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
just
you
labor
don't fucking
shit,
take RJ and put him in a fucking grow house. Like, don't disrespect the kid, boy. So then that pivoted into like me doing more, like me being like, all right, fuck this, doing more construction handyman stuff on my own. And then pandemic hit. And then that's when real estate license kicked in, general contractor's license kicked in, and then got turned more. Noah and I started working to do more wholesaling. Wholesaling led us into like opportunities for flipping, and then got caught into this like 1.5 year cycle of flipping, and then here we are enjoying Tequila Transactions with Ricky Alvarez.
Here we are.
Boom, in multi-million-dollar properties in California. So yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
It's been a fun ride and definitely super excited. And like I said, like my objective is to continue to like grow in real estate, grow the construction business with more remodels, and then also like focus on the ad investment portion and take that most likely on the road, out of state, because that's where there's gonna be more opportunities. And right now I think it's like a really good time to be doing the buy and holds, just because there's more leverage for getting into these projects and working with sellers. So that's, yeah. And then do stuff remote, bro. I'm trying to get out of the Bay. Sorry, Bay Area.
It's all good, man. I feel the same way. Like, I really enjoy my time working in Mexico remote.
Girls in Mexico, girls in Colombia, girls
just to be able to eat good, drink good. Not part of this fucking fast-paced lifestyle here in the U.S., especially here in California.
Well, if you can do your work remotely, like I mean, the same thing like we're talking about for you is like you're building out this team. Like, yes, we have to as people that are very prideful in the work we do. It's hard for us to relinquish these different responsibilities and like pass off on to other people. It's just like ultimately for us to be able to then step into that new phase of our life, we have to adopt these systems or create the systems. And it's not to like accept lesser quality. It's just like, okay, how do we ensure quality without Ricky being on a day-to-day with these clients? Like what are the different guardrails that you can establish that allow for that same like impact of you being involved in the transaction from like every little detail?
Exactly. Like that's ultimately the goal. Like, how do we keep the same level of service without me actually having to be there?
100%.
So that's a beautiful thing, bro. And I mean, dude, that's crazy. That timeline was crazy.
Yeah. That's how.
And now we're here. And now we're here.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, I think that's a great way to end it, bro.
We'll wrap up episode 52.
I think that's a great way to end it, bro. So, like, I mean, we talked a little bit about everything, but I think what really kind of stuck with me, dude, is just like your passion. You know, just, you know, that you're a person that likes to go against the grain. You're not trying to do these, you know, if you're going to put your name on something, it has to be the RJ's way. It has to be dope, and it can't be a fucking mirror image of everything else. It has to be something,
That's what people look to me for.
Yeah.
They don't, you know.
I mean, obviously, here we are.
Yeah. They
They
come to me. They know they come to me. They know they don't have to second guess quality. Right? Like, yeah, this is a cool inspiration by our designer.
It's beautiful, man.
And I was just like, there's no way I'm not doing this because it's just such an epic, like, just statement, live art piece. You can't buy this off of fucking Home Depot.
Nope.
You gotta at least semi be involved in the project to figure out how the fuck to install it. Like, this was like a fun little technical challenge for us to like figure out. But yeah, that's what I loved about the construction. Like, on this particular project, bro, like, this particular project was the biggest structural project that I've had.
Biggest structural, biggest price point, biggest everything.
Like, the fucking deck alone was crazy. Like, 11 isolated footings, 10 feet deep, 5 underpinnings, 16 feet deep. Like, I got videos on my website. It's just like the fucking cages that they're dropping down were just like crazy. 16-foot cages they're fucking big, bro.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're fucking big. It's like, it's like 3 of you.
Yeah, just
at least
fucking embedding it into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, they're using the excavator as like the lift for it, and they just like change it, and they're just like lifting it up, and one guy's kind of like helping guide it in and just drop it down.
Fucking crazy.
Nine trucks. That fucking shout out Sam making me pour his own goddamn concrete, fucker. He's like, oh, I want a job in Sacramento. I'm like, fuck you, Sam. I'm over here pouring your concrete. But it was all love. We had a fun time.
Well, brother, I appreciate you very much for sharing your story, bro. Sharing your insight into life and who makes CASA to RJ, CASA to RJ. And
real.
So, just once again, bro, appreciate you. It's episode 52. If you need somebody to go against the grain that's going to make some dope shit, holla at RJ CASA. He's going to make your house look hella player, something like this. Because honestly, you know, I'll cut it to you straight. Being in real estate 10 years, tired of seeing all the grays and all the fucking white cabinets and all that bullshit. So it's really refreshing to see someone that has a vision to really create something and bring it to life. And so I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you very much. And holla at RJ if you guys ever need anything. Obviously, the man is a trick of all trades. If you ever need anything, holla. And he's also a realtor as well. So if you don't want to work with your boy, RJ CASA is man.
Ricky first, though.
All right, bro. Appreciate you again, bro.
Non-compete policies out here.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you again.
Get you some tequila.
Episode 52, signing off.
This is the one right here.
No seal, no deal, baby. No seal, no deal.
No seal, no deal. If it ain't got a QR code,
we ain't fucking with it.